everybody. Randy Ramiden here, real estate broker with Century 21, and really excited to have us interview Danny Sang, very good friend of mine. And we're at my new listing, 82 Linnsmore in Toronto, and we're going to be talking about why a smart buyer would want to buy this house and the potential upsides for highest and best value. Hey Danny, thanks for coming out.
Thanks for having me, Randy. Pleasure
You're
to
welcome.
be here.
You're welcome. And we're in the throes of getting this house ready. And one of the things that my buyers are asking me is, Randy, why is this a good opportunity? And it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home, downtown Toronto, right at Danforth and Coxwell area. And these homes were built maybe about 95 years ago, but they're so efficient in space. And what people have done is they've managed to maximize their use by layout and design. And having an architect here is so important because we want to get qualified advice with how we can maximize the use. So one of the things that I had looked at was an extension at the back, a master ensuite bathroom on that extension, extending out the kitchen, putting in a separate entrance, and excavating the basement to get a legalized basement apartment. Now, Danny's had a chance to be able to walk through the property. Could you kind of talk us through what you need to look for in a house if you're looking to do that kind of thing here?
Yeah, for sure. So first of all, if you want to maximize your investments and possibly add an income property to the suite, the first thing you want to look at is if there is a opportunity to add a separate entrance within the back. And in this case, although there's a existing porch that could easily be removed.
Yeah, so we were looking at putting the separate entrance right here. So if we can move the if we can move the camera out. So right here is a window under this porch going into the basement, and I was looking at a separate entrance here. Now the neighboring property, which is a semi-detached, had already done this, right? And our videographer, the person who's actually holding the camera, has actually seen it. So I know it's definitely possible, and I've seen that done here with other homes in the area. And also, I've also seen extensions. So this part in the back, you get a permit and you bring it out, and you put in a beautiful master en suite, and then you have a lot of room to put in stairs. Is that possible?
Oh yeah, that's possible. You can
Okay.
you can easily add an extension in the back as well, and there's opportunity to do that. And a third point, if the buyer is interested in doing more extensive work, but also maximizing their investments.
Now for that separate entrance over here, are there any rules that we need to look at from a home buyer's perspective in terms of what the city says? Lot lines, anything like that we have to look at to put in that separate entrance?
So the important parts, what the city looks for is safety in 2 ways. One is accessibility, and the other notion is fire safety. So
the accessibility is the laneway.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Is
So
that shared driveway? Okay.
Exactly. So there's an easement there, so that makes it possible. And in terms of the basement itself, there is some work that needs to be done, namely the underpinning, because the basement is quite low. However, once that's done, there's all the other parameters exist to allow for a good basement investment property.
Now, I really appreciate you coming out, and the reason why I wanted you here, Danny, is when a buyer's looking to buy a home, they want to maximize their investment, they want to have qualified advice. So having a qualified architect here is really important. Can you tell us a little bit about your firm, Syllable, and what it's all about?
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for that, Randy. So we are a boutique architecture and interior design firm, and we specialize in commercial as well as residential type projects. And in terms of our work, we always look to maximize the untapped potential of any space. So part of that is making the space as efficient as possible, making spaces flexible, and which in return will allow you to maximize your investment by having functional spaces that are efficient and maximizes the most you can get out of the property.
Speaking of functionality, maximization, and we're right at the tail end of COVID, work live. This separate entrance and being able to excavate that basement, could that be a functional office being built down there?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's the future homeowner either use the basement as a functional office with a separate entry, or the shed can be converted into.
That's a very good point. A great office space.
Yeah, and if there's a future pandemic, if you're you need to quarantine and be away from your family and still feel connected. Like you have the
That's a
opportunity
great idea. Thanks, Danny.
Mhm.
So
Anytime.
it's these kinds of ideas a buyer needs to be thinking about when they're looking to invest in Toronto. Prices are not low, they're very high. So every buyer needs to say, how do I maximize the value of my property? How do I make the most money out of it? And it's with qualified experts like Danny here, with agents like myself, we're looking to help you to make a great buy. Thanks for listening and thanks for watching.
Thank you very much.